All right, let's journey to ancient Greece for a deep dive into Cyclades.
Yes, we'll guide you step by step through setting up a two-player game.
We'll paint a vivid picture so you can almost feel those game pieces in your hand.
Exactly. We'll focus solely on setup, so no rules explained just yet. Just prepping the game for those epic battles to come.
So first things first, the board, instead of a static board, you'll use Archipelago tiles.
Yeah, these tiles are double-sided, each with a beautiful illustration of an island.
Each side has a different layout of land and sea areas.
And this is where the fun begins. Each game you'll have a totally different map just by flipping these tiles around.
You'll have 12 of them, and some will have volcanoes on them.
Yeah, keep an eye on those volcanoes. They add an extra layer of strategy that we'll touch on later.
For now, just lay out those 12 tiles like a jigsaw puzzle, and boom, your agency is ready for conquest.
Next up is the auction board.
This is where the action happens, where you'll bid for the favor of the gods.
Yeah, it's a long board with several distinct areas.
You'll see slots for the god tiles.
These tiles are large rectangular with beautiful artwork depicting each god.
One side shows the god with their actions listed.
And the other side is just their signal.
For our two-player setup, you'll shuffle these god tiles and place them face up on the auction board.
Starting with Apollo, he's always the first one up, ready to lend his favor.
But here's a twist. Two of the gods will start face down,
adding a bit of mystery to the mix.
Now let's move on to those alluring creature cards.
They're in a separate deck, each featuring magnificent artwork of mythical creatures like hydras, minotaurs, and the mighty kraken.
Shuffle these cards and place the deck face down.
Then reveal the top four and place them on the creature track.
Yeah, it's almost like they're peeking out from the depths of the ocean, waiting to be unleashed.
You'll also see the hero cards. They depict legendary warriors like Achilles, Odysseus, and more.
Form a deck with these, place it face down, and reveal the top two on the hero track.
Think of them as your potential champions ready to join your cause.
And finally, take the Philosopher and Priestess cards.
And place them neatly in their designated slots on the auction board.
These cards represent different paths to victory.
But we'll dive into those details later.
Now take a moment to admire all the other components. The miniatures representing your troops and fleets.
The gold pieces that will fuel your ambitions, and the building tokens that symbolize your growing power.
You'll also have control tokens, bonus Metropolis tokens, which stay face down for now.
And mercenary troops.
It's quite a sight, all these miniature pieces representing the forces you'll command.
Speaking of forces, let's set up your personal command centers.
Each player gets a screen to hide their resources and a starting supply of 5 gold pieces.
Behind your screen, you'll place your control tokens, a small army of basic troops, and a handful of fleets.
Think of these as your hidden reserves ready to be deployed.
Now each player chooses an offering pawn, a small, brightly colored pawn,
and places it randomly on the turn order track of the auction board.
This will determine who takes the first turn in the exciting bidding wars to come.
Here's where the two-player setup gets really intriguing. Remember those factions we mentioned?
In a two-player game, you each control 2.
It's almost like you're managing a powerful alliance.
Having to consider the strengths and weaknesses of both factions, it adds a whole new level of strategy.
Now for the first placement round, you'll each choose 2 unoccupied land areas on different islands.
Place one of your faction's control tokens on each chosen area.
And notice how those tokens are distinct, representing your chosen factions. You'll find matching ones behind your screen.
If you happen to choose a land area with a priestess symbol, congratulations, you get to draw a priestess card as a bonus.
Think of the priestess cards as special advisors, granting you unique advantages.
And keep an eye out for those symbols, they can be quite valuable.
Next, you'll position 1 fleet in a sea area adjacent to each of the land areas you just claimed.
Those fleets are your first line of defense, protecting your newly acquired territories.
Remember, controlling the seas is crucial in Cyclades.
In the second placement round, the order reverses, adding another layer of strategic thinking.
This time, you'll each select a 3rd unoccupied land area again on a different island.
You'll place a control token and a fleet just like before.
But here's the twist. You'll then distribute 3 basic troops across the 3 land areas you control.
Notice how the control tokens are removed from the board once you have troops in those areas.
Yeah, your military presence replaces the need for control.
It's almost like you're solidifying your foothold on those islands, transitioning from exploration to a more permanent occupation.
And with that,
the board is set.
Your forces are in position.
The stage is prepared for an epic clash of civilizations.
But before we unleash those mythical creatures and send our heroes into battle, we'll take a short break and return to talk about the strategic possibilities that lie ahead.
What early moves will you make? Which gods will you favor? Which creatures will you command? The fate of the Aegean is in your hands.
Okay, we're back, and the Aegean Sea is shimmering before us, ready for conquest. But before we dive into the actual gameplay, let's take a closer look at some of the key players in this mythological showdown, the gods themselves.
Ah, the gods of Cyclades. They're not just there for decoration, you know.
Right.
Each one grants unique powers and abilities. Earning their favor is crucial to your success. Think of them like powerful patrons, each with their own agenda, and a willingness to lend their might to those who pay them proper respect.
Or at least those who offer the highest bid.
Exactly.
It's like you're trying to win over these divine beings, each one holding the keys to different paths to victory. Let's start with Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare.
Her tile on the auction board features a wise owl perched beside her.
Right.
Athena is all about knowledge and building.
So if you're aiming for a strong economy and a flourishing civilization,
She's your go-to goddess. She can help you construct universities, which are essential for generating those all-important philosophers. Remember, collecting enough philosophers allows you to build a metropolis without needing all 4 types of buildings.
okay, so Athena is like your brainy benefactor, helping you outsmart your opponents through careful planning and development. But what about sheer military might? That's where Ares comes in, the god of war. His tile is pretty easy to spot. He's usually picked with a helmet and a rather fierce expression.
Ares is all about brute force.
Right.
He'll help you amass a powerful army, recruit those stalwart troops, and build impenetrable fortresses to defend your territories. And if you need a little extra muscle,
Yeah.
Ares can also help you hire mercenary troops. They come in handy when you need a sudden surge of power.
So Ares is your go-to guy if you prefer a more direct approach to conquest. But what if you want to rule the waves? Then you'll need to win the favor of Poseidon, god of the seas.
He's usually depicted with his trident and a rather regal air.
Right.
Poseidon is the key to naval dominance. He'll grant you the power to build swift fleets and establish bustling ports. Remember those fleet tokens behind your screen? Poseidon is the one who can multiply their number, allowing you to control the sea lanes and launch surprise attacks from the water.
Okay, so we've got brains, brawn, and naval power covered. But what about the economic engine of your empire?
For that, you'll need the favor of Zeus, king of the gods.
His tile is usually quite grand, often depicting him with a lightning bolt in hand.
Zeus is a bit of a wild card. He doesn't offer direct military power, but his favor can be incredibly valuable. He can grant you prosperity tokens, which boost your income every turn.
Think of them like golden tickets to a flourishing economy.
Exactly.
So Zeus is all about those shiny gold pieces, the lifeblood of your faction, and having plenty of gold allows you to outbid your opponents for the favor of the other gods. It's like he's giving you the resources to build a powerful engine that can drive your entire campaign.
Now let's turn our attention to Hera, the queen of the gods.
She's often depicted as a stately figure with a crown and a watchful gaze,
Her powers are a bit more subtle.
but no less potent.
Exactly. Hera is all about those legendary heroes. Remember those hero cards we set aside earlier?
Yes. Well, Hera is the one who can bring them into your service. Each hero has unique abilities that can turn the tide of battle or give you a strategic advantage. Imagine having Achilles on your side, forcing your opponent to retreat after a lost battle. Or Odysseus able to bypass those heavily fortified fortresses recruiting heroes is a major power move.
Absolutely.
So Hera is the goddess to court if you want to add some legendary champions to your ranks. And finally, we have Apollo, god of music, poetry, and seemingly everything else. He's often depicted with a lyre or a chariot pulled by the sun.
Apollo is unique in that he doesn't grant any military options. Instead, he offers a different kind of power. Prosperity and peace, choosing Apollo is like taking a strategic pause, a chance to build up your economy, amass those valuable gold pieces, and prepare for the next round of bidding.
It's almost like he's giving you a moment to catch your breath, consolidate your gains, and plan your next move.
Exactly. You see, in Cyclades, it's not just about brute force. It's about knowing when to strike, when to build, when to negotiate, and when to simply bide your time. Each god represents a different facet of this intricate strategic tapestry.
So it's like you're assembling a pantheon of your own, tailoring your strategy to the whims and favors of these powerful deities.
Precisely. And now that we've explored the divine powers at play, let's delve into the exciting world of mythical creatures and legendary heroes. These are the wild cards, the game changers that can shift the balance of power in an instant.
Ooh, yes. let's talk about those magnificent beasts lurking on the creature track.
Uh-huh.
I mean, who wouldn't want to unleash a kraken on their opponent?
The creatures. Each one is a force to be reckoned with, possessing unique abilities that can bolster your armies, cripple your opponents, or even generate extra income. But beware, these creatures don't come cheap. You'll need to offer a hefty sum to win their allegiance.
And keep in mind, controlling these powerful beings requires a steady supply of priestesses, those priestess cards you set aside. They play a vital role in keeping those mythical creatures in check.
It's a delicate balance. You need the priestesses to appease the creatures, but you also need them to achieve certain victory conditions. It's a constant strategic choice. Power or piety. Which path will you choose?
And then there are the heroes, those legendary figures who can make all the difference in a tight battle. Imagine summoning Achilles to your side or having the cunning Odysseus outwit your opponent's defenses.
Remember those hero cards, each depicting a renowned warrior from Greek mythology?
Yeah.
They're not just there for show. They can be game changers, providing powerful abilities that can turn the tide of battle.
So it seems like choosing which god to favor, which creatures to recruit, and which heroes to enlist is crucial to crafting a winning strategy.
Absolutely. And remember, these choices are intertwined. The gods grant you access to certain creatures and heroes, and the abilities of those creatures and heroes can complement the powers of the gods. It's a fascinating interplay of divine and mortal forces.
It's like weaving together a tapestry of power, carefully selecting the threads that will create the most formidable design. We haven't even talked about buildings yet. Those seem pretty important too, right? I mean, what's an empire without some impressive structures?
Yes, the buildings, they are indeed the backbone of your civilization, representing your economic, military, and cultural development. Shall we delve into the world of ports, fortresses, temples, and those grand metropolises?
But we'll save that for our next segment. Stay tuned, because we're about to explore the very foundations of your Aegean empire. All right, we're back and ready to build. We've talked about the gods, the creatures, the heroes, but now it's time to lay the foundations of your empire with some good old-fashioned construction.
That's right. In Cyclades, buildings aren't just window dressing. They represent your economic, military, and cultural development.
Each building type plays a crucial role in your overall strategy.
Yeah.
Let's start with those sturdy ports, represented by small tokens depicting bustling harbors filled with ships.
Yeah, ports are your gateway to naval dominance. Not only do they increase your income, which is always a good thing,
Right.
but they also give your fleets a bonus during those epic sea battles. Remember, controlling the sea lanes is vital for transporting troops, launching surprise attacks, and securing valuable resources.
So it's like each port is a little economic engine churning out gold and strengthening your naval power. But what about defending those hard-won territories? That's where fortresses come in, right? They're depicted as miniature citadels perched atop strategic hilltops.
Exactly. Fortresses are your first line of defense, making your land areas much tougher to conquer. Think of them as deterrents, forcing your opponents to think twice before launching an attack. A well-placed fortress can really slow down an enemy advance and buy you precious time to build up your forces.
Okay, so ports are for economic and naval power. Fortresses are for defense. What about those majestic temples? They're usually represented by tokens with those iconic Greek columns, right?
Yes, the temples, they're all about piety and appeasing those mighty gods. Temples grant you discounts when recruiting those powerful mythical creatures, allowing you to unleash a kraken or a minotaur without breaking the bank.
So temples are like your spiritual centers, helping you curry favor with the divine and gain access to those game-changing creatures. And last but not least, we have universities represented by tokens depicting scrolls and those wise-looking scholars.
Universities are the key to knowledge and cultural advancement. They generate philosophers, which, as we mentioned earlier, can lead you to victory through cultural dominance, or allow you to build a metropolis without needing all four types of buildings.
For universities are like your think tanks, pushing the boundaries of knowledge and paving the way for a more enlightened empire. Speaking of metropolises, those seem pretty impressive. I mean, they're the ultimate symbol of your faction's power and prestige, right?
Absolutely. Metropolises are like the crown jewels of your civilization, represented by large tokens or even three-dimensional buildings in some versions of the game. They're not easy to build, but the rewards are well worth the effort.
And there are multiple paths to building a metropolis. You can go the economic route, constructing all four types of basic buildings, or you can focus on cultural development by gathering those brilliant philosophers.
And let's not forget the heroes. Some of them have special abilities that allow you to construct a metropolis through acts of sacrifice or divine intervention. It's like offering a grand tribute to the gods in exchange for their favor.
And once you have a metropolis under your control, you gain access to some pretty powerful bonus abilities.
Those bonuses can range from additional troops and fleets to increased income and special actions that can disrupt your opponent's plans. Building a metropolis is like leveling up your entire civilization.
So it's like you're not just building structures,
Yeah.
you're building a legacy, a testament to your faction's strength and ingenuity.
Precisely. And with that, we've covered all the essential elements of setting up Cyclades for a thrilling two-player showdown.
You now have a clear vision of the board, the players, the pieces, and hopefully a sense of the strategic possibilities that await you. The agency is yours to conquer. The gods are watching, waiting to see who will rise to the challenge.
So gather your courage, summon your cunning, and prepare for an epic clash of civilizations. The fate of ancient Greece hangs in the balance.
And that, my friends, is where we leave you. The stage is set. The pieces are in place. The only thing left is to play. We'll be back soon to guide you through the intricacies of gameplay, the ebb and flow of battle, the thrill of victory, and perhaps the agony of defeat. Until then, may the gods smile upon your endeavors.
Place my piece and go ahead. Every move and word unsaid, waiting for my time. Build my walls to keep me free, but I know they're watching me, testing if I'm worthy of the power they could grant, of the fate they could plant. And Cyclades, every choice I made. In Cyclades, my hands start to shake. Through archipelago towers we roam, building temples, ports and stones, as God's grand favors from above. Bidding wars for what we seek, heroes, creatures we must keep. In Cyclades, through Cyclades we soar. Through the waves I send my ships, ancient wisdom on my lips, building higher day by day while they judge me from away. Will I earn this sacred trust? Will I rise up from the dust? In Cyclades, as I take command. In Cyclades, as I make my stand. Through archipelago towers we roam, building temples, ports and stones, as God's grand favors from above. Bidding wars for what we seek, heroes, creatures we must keep. In Cyclades, through Cyclades we soar. In silence I pray to guide my way. Their eyes follow everywhere. Do I dare? Through archipelago towers we roam, building temples, ports and stones, as God's grand favors from above. Bidding wars for what we seek, heroes, creatures we must keep. In Cyclades, through Cyclades we soar.